Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alec Reed. This is my channel, Alec Reads, and today we are reading Marriage, a Heartstopper fanfiction by heartstopper_fan22 on Wattpad, and today we are reading chapter 49, Bad Day. Before we jump right in, I just wanted to give a little trigger warning. There is mentions of self-harm, so please take care of yourself. If that kind of thing upsets you in any kind of way, please click off. I do have other videos that you can listen to. But yeah, I really hope you enjoy. Like, subscribe, and comment what you would like to see next. And let's jump right into the video. Chapter 49, Bad Day. The next day. Nick's perspective. Babe, can you pass me the orange juice? Charlie reaches in front of him to grab the jug of orange juice that was sitting in front of his plate. Yep, he says while sliding it to me. When he moved the orange juice jug, I realized that his plate was full, and he was just moving the food around to make it look like he ate. He hasn't done that in a while, so it kind of shocked me a little. Charlie, why aren't you eating today? He shrugged his shoulders and stared at the ground, not properly responding to my question. Char, I really get worried when you don't eat breakfast. It's not good. He mumbled, Sorry. There's no need for you to say sorry. Just please try to eat them just a little bit. He then replied, Okay, I'm just not hungry. You shouldn't force someone to eat when they're not hungry, and when they're anorexic, they need your help, so you need to push them a bit harder. Do you want me to feed you, or we can share? I say, trying to help him feel a little more comfortable, but I could tell he was getting angry. Charlie's perspective. I'm fine. I don't need you to treat me like some sick, fragile patient, I said angrily to Nick. This morning I woke up and knew today was going to be one of those awful days. I felt these intrusive thoughts inside my head wrapping around my neck, trying to suffocate me. And I didn't know what to do. I'm not treating you like a patient. I'm trying to be a supportive boyfriend. I just want you to eat. He just didn't get it. I want to eat. I do, but I can't without thinking my life is going to fall to pieces. Today I woke up feeling like shit, and he will never get it. He will never understand the thoughts and feelings I get when I eat. I know that if I try and eat today, the thoughts will be so bad I won't be able to cope. In an agitated tone, I said, You don't get it, Nick. I can't. I'm sorry, I'm not good enough. He responded, Charlie, you're everything to me and are more than enough. I know it's hard, but can you please try and have some more? I couldn't eat more, and his comment was really starting to piss me off. He sounded like my mom, which drove me mad. Stop acting like my controlling mother. I stormed out of the kitchen and went to our bedroom, slamming the door shut. I then heard Nick knocking on the door quick after. Charlie, let me in. Come on. You know I would never force you to eat. I'm just trying to help you. I sat there on the floor, fighting back tears of anger and regret. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But can I please just be alone right now? I'm angry and I don't want to get angry with you. He stays silent for a few seconds before replying. Okay. I love you. I'll give you some space. I was sitting on the floor against the door. I love you too. Nick's perspective. Charlie seemed angry and upset, and I needed to give him space. That's what he asked for, no matter how hard it was for me to not just slam myself against the door till it at its breaking point so I could wrap my arms around him tight and reassure him that he is incredible the way he was. I only had 2 days left until the rings were ready, and I know that when I get the rings back, I won't be able to keep it a secret, so I need to start preparing the proposal now. I needed to go walk and talk to the florist because she needed at least 1 day in advance for custom orders. Charlie is always gushing over how much he loves those custom flowers and letters, or custom heart arrangements made from flowers, so I knew I had to get him one. I go to our bedroom and test to see if the door is still locked, and sadly, it was. Char, I'm not asking for you to let me in. I just wanted to ask if it was okay if I ran to the store. We need groceries, but if you want to talk, I can stay. He replies with, just go. I knew he was angry, not at me, but himself. I wish he was angry at me rather than himself, because seeing him being just angry by his existence hurts more than anything. I locked up the house and left, excited to find the perfect flowers for our special moment. Charlie's perspective. I heard Nick leave and I burst into tears. Why had I said that he was so mean? I was an awful person and an even worse boyfriend. I got angry at him all morning just because he wanted me to be safe and healthy. I'm horrible. God, I hate myself. Why can't I just let people help? Why can't I be okay? Tears flooded down my face. I couldn't handle my emotions. I went into the kitchen to grab some water, and that's when I dropped the glass onto the floor. It shattered into many pieces. I sat on the floor, collecting the pieces. I picked up a large shard and felt the sharp tip. My wrist then started to ache like it was trying to convince me I was worthless and should give it. I dropped the piece back on the floor, resisting the urge. But then my mind started filling with these awful thoughts. I needed an escape. I picked up the shard and glided it across my wrist. My mind was at ease and wasn't forced on the thoughts anymore. It was now forced on the relieving pain on my wrist. My mind was fixated on examining the large hash across my wrist, with blood starting to drip from my arm onto the floor. I sat there in shock, watching the blood drip. Chapter 50. Scared. Nick's perspective. I had ordered the perfect flower arrangement. I just know Charlie will go crazy when he sees it. They'll be ready for pickup tomorrow, so I need to think of another excuse to tell Charlie without him, because he might get suspicious. He was having a really tough morning today, and I'm not sure why. I just hope he had enough space and will let me love him. I miss him already, and it's only been like 2 hours. While I was picking out the special flower arrangements, I got a small bouquet of white roses for Charlie, so I could maybe cheer him up a little bit. I parked our Jeep and headed up to the elevator to our apartment. When I opened the door, I saw Charlie sitting on the kitchen floor with shards of glass surrounding him. He must have dropped a glass. Are you okay, babe? Did a glass break? It's like he was frozen. Then when I said something, he started cleaning up the glass like a scared kid about to get in trouble. I walked closer to him and bent down to help. Babe, let me help. It's okay, I made the mess, he replied. I didn't care that he broke the glass. I just didn't want him to get hurt. You shouldn't be picking up glass. You could get hurt. I'll grab a broom. I walked out of the room to get the broom when I noticed some bloody paper towels on the bathroom counter. I knew he was going to get hurt picking up the glass. I wish he would have just used a broom. When I walked back into the kitchen, I noticed some blood on the ground, a good bit of it, which really worried me. Plus, Charlie was acting awfully weird. I kneeled down on the ground to check if he was okay and how bad the cut was. "Charlie, let me see your hands," I said. He looked at me in panic. He almost looked scared. I was going to get really worried about him. "Charlie, let me see your hands. Why didn't you tell me you got cut?" He pulled his hands tight against his body and said, "It's fine. It was only a small cut. I don't care how small it was. I just want to make sure you're okay." He lifted his hands in front of him, showing them to me. I examined both of his hands. There wasn't a single cut on either of them. A single tear rolled down my cheek when I realized what had happened while I was gone. I should have never left. This was all my fault. With a nervous tone, I looked at him in the eyes and said, "Can I see your wrists?" Charlie immediately burst into tears. In this moment, I had known for sure that he had cut himself on purpose. I had to ignore my feelings and focus on helping Charlie. That was the most important thing right now. Before even looking at the cut, I scooped him into my arms off the kitchen floor and took him to the couch. I sat down, still cradling him in my arms. I gently pulled his arm closer to me and rolled up his sleeve. The cut was deep, really deep, and was still bleeding a little bit. It was long and went across his whole wrist. I'd never seen such a large cut. This really scared me. I felt my heart pounding and my hands shaking, but I needed to stay strong and calm for Charlie. He needed me. I touched the cut, and he winced, pulling his arm away. "Sorry, I shouldn't have touched it." He started crying harder while saying, "No, I shouldn't have done this. I'm crazy." I quickly said, trying to reassure him how amazing he was, "No, don't ever say that about my boyfriend again. He's sweet, nice, handsome, caring, and the most amazing guy I've ever met." He replied, "You still think that after how mean I was to you this morning?" I knew this morning he wasn't mad at me or meant anything that he said. He was just having a rough morning. Of course, Charlie. How could I ever think that? It's okay if couples fight every once in a while. It doesn't mean that I will ever stop loving you. He smiled a little, but I knew he was in pain. I don't think he had ever cut himself like this before. And knowing he went that deep scared me so much. I needed to know if he was trying to kill himself for real. When he self-harmed a long time ago, he never had the intentions of killing himself. He just wanted to use the pain as an escape, but this cut looked really deep, like he was actually trying to end his life. This made me feel bad, almost made me feel like I was a better boyfriend. He wouldn't need to do this. It was eating me. The thought of him actually purposely trying to end his life, I was crushed. A few minutes passed by. Charlie was still laid in my arms like a baby, all cuddled close. I was tickling his back and rubbing his neck with trying to comfort him as best as possible, but I needed to know the answer to this question. "Charlie, did you try to actually kill yourself? Because that cut looks really deep and I'm scared." He looked at me with his beautiful blue eyes that were puffy from crying. No, I didn't. I just felt so angry with myself for being such a dick to you, and then I dropped the glass, and when I was picking up the shards, I felt the sharp end on the glass, and I wanted all the feelings I was feeling to stop, so I cut myself, trying to focus my brain on something else. I had never meant to go that deep. The glass was just really sharp. I had never really understood the reasoning behind cutting, but when he explained it, it made sense. Charlie, please, please never do this again. I hate seeing you in pain, and it really scares me. I don't know what I would do without you. You're my world, and I love you more than anything. He smiled and kissed me before saying, I regret it. I was stupid to do that. I'm sorry. I stroked his forehead and said, next time you feel like that, you need a distraction from your thoughts or feelings, you can talk to me. This is not the answer. I don't want to see you get hurt. I love you too much for that. Alright, everyone, that is the end of today's episode. The day after tomorrow's episode will be called Chapter 51 Hiccup? But anyway, I really hope you enjoyed. Leave some comments down below saying what you want to see, or if you want to see any other type of relationships from this universe with Tara and Darcy or Ellen Tao, or whether you want to see some from other ones. I keep getting recommended Bakudeku, so if you want to see that, let me know. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Good morning, good afternoon, or good night. Goodbye, ladies, gentlemen, and everything in between, and I will see you in our next episode. Bye, friends.